Lueroi's Pokemon Alpha Sapphire Walkthrough, Part 20. What's going on, guys? Welcome back, and we're still here in Mauville City. In the last episode, we took down the gym leader, Watson, and I think today we're gonna head to the west towards Verdanturf Town. And before we get started here, let's give out the viewer shoutout of the day. And today it's gonna go to Afro Biscuits. And I love that name, Afro Biscuits, so congratulations. He named all of the Psychic-type Pokemon I've ever used on YouTube. So for the shoutout in the next video, I'm going to make it easy. All you have to do is leave a comment, and you're eligible for a shoutout. Now this is Route 117. The main thing on this route is the Pokemon Daycare. You can leave your Pokemon in here, and they'll raise them up levels for you. Ideally, it's not that effective. You might as well just train them on your own. It's going to be quicker. However, you can breed Pokemon in the Daycare, so you can do that if you want. Overall, it's not something you're going to really use that much for the main part of the game. Now look at this guy, just running back and forth, like, dude, space yourself out. You don't need to turn around so quickly. I'm in the middle of a triathlon, but whatever, let's have a battle. Oh really, you're in the middle of a triathlon? You're running back and forth, like, in a 10 feet span, just back and forth. How is that a triathlon? I'm pretty sure you should keep running in the same direction. Whatever triathlon you're in right now, you're getting destroyed by everybody. You're probably in dead last place. But this guy naturally has a fast Pokemon since he's in a triathlon. He's got a Doduo. Yeah, this is the first time we've seen Doduo. It's a flying type. It has 2 heads and 0 wings, but it is one of my favorite flying types because it's from the original generation. And that's an easy level up for Deadmau5. I ran out of energy. Alright, so, move it. Oh, and he just stopped. So what, did you quit the entire triathlon now? You're just gonna stand there the rest of the time? Let's see, there's a little shortcut back here. Yeah, you might have noticed I used the move Volt Switch in that battle. That was the TM from Watson. I went ahead and topped that to Plusle, because it's a special attack, and Plusle needed a special attack. Now, Volt Switch is pretty annoying if you're trying to grind levels because, you know, it makes you switch out to a different Pokemon, and ideally if you're leveling up, you want to keep the same guy in. So, I'm looking forward to level 19 because I'm going to learn Electro Ball, which is going to be a way better electric-type move for me. Now, for this double battle here, this is probably like our 3rd double battle or so. This one's pretty interesting. You got a Makuhita and a Zigzagoon. But with Spark and Mega Drain paired together, I have no problem taking out that Makuhita. And she also has a Zigzagoon. So yeah, this is a route that you could have taken and fought before the gym, so it's a good option if you want to get up levels before you take on Watson. Personally, I had a Combuskin, which was going to have a really easy time anyways, so I figured I'd just knock the gym out while I could, but this is a nice training spot because, I don't know, there's a lot of trainers here. Some of them have like 6 Pokemon on their teams, so there's a lot of experience to be gained. And we'll have to do another turn because that Zigzagoon lowered my attack, and Spark is a physical attack, which is the reason I'm probably going to get rid of it pretty soon here on Plusle, but for now it's the only electric type move that I can use that doesn't force me to, you know, come out of the fight and switch to a different Pokemon. And let's go ahead and pick these berries over here. These are Peanut berries. They don't really have any use other than you can turn them into Pokeblocks if you're trying to increase the toughness of one of your Pokemon for contests. While I'm picking these berries, let's go ahead and talk about the wild Pokemon on this route, because there are a bunch of them. First off, you have Illumis and Volbeat, which is a pair of Bug-type Pokemon. If you're playing Omega Ruby, you're probably going to find Illumis. If you're playing Alpha Sapphire, you're probably going to find Volbeat, but you can find both of them. They are pretty awful Bug-type Pokemon that don't evolve, but I'd be pretty interested to see if someone actually used them and proven any kind of substantial worth for them. Roselia and Oddish. Let's talk about a couple of really good Grass-type Pokemon you can find. That's definitely not a bad option. You got Meryl in here, too. Now, Meryl actually ends up being one of the best Pokemon you can possibly catch in this game when fully evolved into Azumarill because of its ability, which doubles its attack. Now, I'm gonna heal up Plusle really quick with the potion because, this next trainer has 6 Pokemon, so I figure I should be at full health. Oh yeah, let's not forget you can also find Surskit on this route. It's very, very hard to find, but you can find Surskit. And when evolved, Surskit is actually, in a lot of people's opinion, a very underrated Pokemon. It does pretty well in this game, which a lot of people don't realize. But yeah, so a lot of wild Pokemon to catch. I'm not going to catch any of them, because my team is nearly complete and I don't need anyone on this route at this time. But overall, Roselia and Meryl are probably your best options. Now, I'm not going to have a hard time taking out this Wingull. Now, this trainer has 6 Pokemon because she's a Pokemon breeder. Pokemon breeders love to catch as many Pokemon as possible, so she has a pretty wide variety. And next up is Shroomish, so I'm going to get out of here. I don't want to deal with Shroomish on Plusle. But yeah, this trainer's pretty... She has 6 Pokemon. They're all at level 17. Now, I remember back in Ruby and Sapphire, her Pokemon were only at level 12, so... Nintendo decided to up the ante a little bit, put them at 17. And that's typically what you see on different routes. The more Pokemon a trainer has, the lower level they'll be, but they kind of just put them all at a pretty high level here. So yeah, Combusken's going to sleep because of a Spec Spore. It's not a big deal. I wasn't really planning on using him too much in this route anyways. He got up enough levels in the gym in the last episode. So let's get out of here, Combusken. You did your job taking out that Shroomish, and we'll go back to Deadmau5. And one thing I've been looking forward to in this walkthrough is just proving that Plusle is actually a good team member, because I'm still getting a lot of hate. There's still people telling me that they can't believe I caught this thing and it's horrible. Looks like I'm going to paralyze this thing, and it's going to use Charm to lower my attack stat. So I guess I'll go ahead and use Swift Special Attack to finish it off. But yeah, people still don't believe in Plusle, so I'm going to have to work pretty hard to prove that it's a good Pokemon. I think the fact that it doesn't evolve turns a lot of people off from Plusle and Minun, but you have to remember, there's a lot of advantages early on in the game if you have a Pokemon that doesn't evolve. Sure, you have no stat boosts to look forward to later on in the game, but at this point, you really overpower a lot of the first stage Pokemon. And you're going to notice that Pokemon that don't evolve at all in the game, they're really going to have an easy time with the early portions of the game. And I think that's worth something, because, I mean, the whole point of this game is to get to the end as quickly as possible, and if you have a guy like Plusle to make it easier for you, I think it's really worth something. Now, you might have noticed that the second time I used Spark, it did a little bit more damage. That's because I have the Metronome attached to Plusle, which boosts the power of moves used consecutively. And even though I'm almost at level 19, I'm going to switch over to Mightyena right now. Because don't forget, Mightyena is almost at level 20, and this Voodoo is going to be super easy for him to take care of. And he's got that Intimidate ability, which, you know, I haven't really benefited much from yet, but I know it's going to be a very useful ability down the road throughout the game. Just having the power to lower any opponent's attack on command is a pretty nice little tool to have. And with that said, Hercules is up to level 20, and this is where I learned the move Swagger. Swagger will confuse the opponents while boosting up its attack, which seems crazy, boosting up the opponent's attack stat, but it makes them hit themselves harder in confusion, so it's kind of a gamble move. It could come back to haunt you, but it's kind of a signature move on Mightyena. I'll go ahead and teach it to him. I'll get rid of Snarl. Snarl's a special attacking move, and Mightyena's primarily a physical attacker. Skitty's next. And although Snarl has a nice effect of lowering the opponent's special attack, you know, I think being able to confuse the opponent's pretty nice too. You could go either way on the decision there. I'm not too worried about it, but looks like this Skitty's gonna live my bite, and it's gonna use Attract. No, I hate this move. And Skitty always has Attract. This thing's just so freaking beautiful. All my Pokemon are falling in love with it. This happened to me like 2 videos ago, man. And I'm immobilized by love. I can't attack it. It's gonna use Disarming Voice. It's super effective, but it's gonna do like 6 hit points. Yeah, it's pretty embarrassing. Skitty is an awful Pokemon. And it's funny because I like using Pokemon that aren't really that good, but not Skitty. I'll pass on Skitty every time. I hate that thing. Alright, so the Pokemon breeder is pretty impressed with how I'm raising my Pokemon, and we can move on. Like, wow, that took forever. She had 6 Pokemon on her team. Once a bug catcher, now a bug maniac! Oh, this guy went overboard on the bug catching. Like, oh my god, look at his face! Look at this guy! He really is a bug maniac. Yeah, this guy is... he should be called Bug Psycho. Bug Sociopath. This guy is not someone I would want my children to be anywhere near. Oh my goodness. Alright, he has an Nincada on his team, which is a ground type. Which is the last thing you want to face being an electric, but... Nincada is pretty worthless. I don't think it's gonna knock out Plusle here. I think I mentioned earlier, we're gonna learn Electro Ball at level 19, and that's gonna happen as soon as the Swift lands. Which it does 100% of the time, regardless of evasion altercations. But yeah, Electro Ball is an outstanding move. And once you get Electro Ball on your Plusle, you are going to just start sweeping through the entire game. This move is awesome. Electro Ball's power is based off of your speed compared to the opponent's speed. And Plusle is a freaking fast Pokemon. This thing is quick as hell, man. And if you're faster than your opponent, Electro Ball is a guaranteed 60 base power, which is pretty good for this stage in the game. And considering there's a lot of really slow Pokemon out there, Electro Ball's power can get even bigger. It can end up being one of the most destructive electric type moves in the entire game. And yeah, I'm definitely gonna take that at level 19. I think this is one of the things that makes Plusle super great in this game, is that it gets Electro Ball really easily, really early on. You don't have to train up much, and then you're looking at a super fast Pokemon with higher special attack than you're gonna find from anyone around this part in the game. And wow, is Plusle really dominant with Electro Ball. So I'm just gonna keep using this over and over and over. That's one of the things about Plusle. His move pool isn't that wide. You're going to focus on one or two moves and you're going to keep using them over and over. That's why I put the Metronome on Plusle, so every time I use the same move, it gains power. This is my strategy for making Plusle a viable Pokemon. Sometimes you got to be a little tricky about it, but it's really not that hard to make Plusle look like a top-tier Pokemon. Now make sure you have Cut on someone, if not, you're pretty close to a Pokemon Center regardless, and I have to walk through a little bit of grass to find an item. Yes, I am going to use a Repel, even though I only have to walk through like 8 patches of grass, just whatever. I have so many of them, and I might as well just use it. Yeah, you can grab a Revive right there. Now, don't even be frugal about using items like repels. You get so much money in this game, you're never gonna run out. You have plenty of opportunities to get even more money, so don't be concerned about using your items. Go down here and you can grab this item, the Mawile, so you can get a Mega Evolution on your Mawile. This is a Pokemon you can only catch in Omega Ruby, so it's pretty worthless for me right now, but Mega Mawile is freaking amazing, dude. You will not regret having that Steel and Fairy type. And we have another Pokemon Breeder. Pokemon Breeder Isaac, and he also has 6 Pokemon, so one more super long battle before we finally get to Verdanturf Town. And we're going to keep Plusle up front. I'm going to keep showcasing the power of Plusle. And yeah, just like the last Pokemon Breeder, all these guys are at level 17. But Electro Ball is... I'm very excited about this move, man. It only has 10 power points, so you can't use it a whole bunch, but... yeah, especially considering my Plusle has a speed-boosting nature, this move's going to be doing a lot of damage. So yeah, I'm not too worried about Plusle taking care of business for a pretty big portion of the game. And I know for a fact that towards the end, Plusle's going to kind of fall behind in power when everyone else starts evolving and getting to their final forms, but I think he'll still be able to, you know, hang with the best of them at that point in the game, and he's going to have a really easy time getting me there, so I'm not too worried at all. Another Electro Ball, he did use Protect. Yeah, I really... oh, he has the Sturdy ability, I forgot. He's going to live. Hit me with a Rock Tomb, and wow, that was a critical hit. Doing 50% extra damage, because yeah, that did get changed in this generation, which you guys pointed out to me in the comments. I kind of forgot about that. But I'm very surprised at how well I took that Rock Tomb, considering it was a critical hit. Like, wow, Aaron's attack stat is nothing to laugh at, and Plusle's defense stat kind of is something to laugh at, so that's good news if Plusle can take hits that well. Take care of this Poochyena here, and yeah, I think it's pretty fitting that they have all these Pokemon breeders on the route where they introduced the Pokemon Daycare. But yeah, oh, fake out, dang. That move always gets priority, always makes you flinch. But if you did decide to catch a new Pokemon on this route, then yeah, you have a pretty great opportunity to train him up here. Taking on all these wild Pokemon, or not wild Pokemon, taking on all these trainer Pokemon on this route. And this last Pokemon's gonna be a Tailo. And this is just the reason I caught you, Plusle, to destroy these flying types. So that's gonna do it, sayonara, and that's gonna finish it off for all the trainers here. And I barely missed out on level 21, but that's okay, not a big deal. Alright, so let's check out Verdanturf Town. Now, if you guys remember, this is where Wally's at, and it's, yeah, it connects to Route 117. By the way, this entire area is optional. Did I mention that? I should have mentioned that at the beginning. You don't have to come here, but it's a little place to check out, and there are a couple things I want to take care of. So thank you guys so much for watching. I will catch you all tomorrow in the next episode. So give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video, leave a comment, and I'll see you guys next time.